knowing that there is a problem is not self-depredation. It means that there's a problem, right? And you have to identify it. You know, if you have a mosquito in your room, right? Well, then you know where the problem is coming. You catch it and you throw it out the house. Don't kill it. You catch it and you throw it outside, you know, outside the house. You know, so it's identification of the problem. Doesn't mean that the person having the problem has a fault, right? This is what Western, I guess, thought really brings it, that the person, you start up with the idea that the person has a problem. But maybe if we start off with the idea that maybe they don't have a personal problem, they have a misinterpretation. And if you eliminate the misinterpretation, then you eliminate the conditions in which a problem might have the capability of being able to arise. It's a different thought, and it's a different way of thinking. You know, success and failure is not something that is externally generated. Success and failure is something that is internally understood, right? When you internally understand how to, that even though there's a problem, there's always a solution to that problem, right? Application of a continuous force greater than the problem. And we know there are many different problems. You have problems in relationship to people, things, locations, whatever it might be, you know, but they're not, as long as you tolerate it or accept it as being a problem, it will always be a problem. The day that you say, well, look, I'm going to do something about it, it changes. All right. It's like that thing, every day you walk through the passageway and you're tripping over. And you keep on tripping over until the time you say, look, I don't want to trip anymore. And you pick it up and you put it somewhere else. Well, that's an application of that's a solution, right? It's an application of it might be of a force, right? But that force is also greater than the problem because you'll no longer trip over it. Meditation, contemplation has everything to do with evaluating the situation that you have now, identifying it, evaluating it, and seeing if you can do something about it. Of course, you can always do something about it. It might not be right now, but you will be able to do something about it. So considering the wisdom, the art of war, and having the inspiration of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, this is where we come from. We're Buddhists, we're Galupa Buddhists. Every time I get a chance to be able to praise His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I will do it, right? So if you see all through my book, I'm always referring to him, you know, because he's a teacher, really the teacher of us all. With the little wisdom that I possess, this is what we call the Sambadamja. Is that when you're composing something, you make a commitment that when you begin it, that you're going to end it. And this is very much within the tradition, the Galupa tradition of Tibetan Buddhists of the Sambadamja, is that you're making a commitment to finish. With the little wisdom that I possess, I offer all my understandings of such profound explanations. So this is what we're doing, was making a commentary, right? We're making a commentary on not only Buddhism, but also Sang Tzu and his method of thinking. So this is a commentary on the root, on using what he said, right, and what His Holiness has said as a foundation and basis of, or as a root text. I'm not sure in the West if they do this. I think this might be very much within the Galupa tradition of having a root text and then you have the commentaries, you know, and they do that because of the reason that, you know, they establish the root text as being a commentary on the actual sutras that the Buddha taught. So we hold them to be, you know, through examination, we hold them to be true. Offer all my understandings of such profound explanations for those in the pursuit of peace. So this goes into the idea of conflict resolution, right? Conflict resolution does not mean that you capitulate, right? And Western thought of lack of conflict is considered peace, but it's not. I mean, within the Western tradition, right? It's not the same within Buddhist or Eastern traditions. It's the idea of overcoming the obstacles to peace in order to maintain the peace. Capitulation is not what we're talking about. Just to get along, or we agree to agree. When anybody tells me, "Well, we'll agree to agree," I said, "No, not me. Let's continue talking about it." Right? Let's get down to the point where it becomes a little bit uncomfortable for one of us, to be able to prove our point. And if it becomes uncomfortable, then that means, from point of view of making sense, common sense, that maybe what's being said is not common sense and maybe a new way. It's actually opening up a door in order to pursue a different direction, either for me or for the person who I'm engaging. So I don't believe in this idea that the capitulation or coming to the point of instead of taking care of the problem, you don't push it off so it's going to fester later on. You see whether and you prove whether what you're saying is true or not true. Right? If you establish it as being true, then you maintain it as being true. You don't have to change the foundation and basis in which you believe. I don't believe in capitulation, right? I believe that if there's conflict, does not necessarily mean we have to pick up sticks and stones and start throwing it at each other, right? There are ways to have conflict and resolve the problems through thinking, through rules and regulations. These are what laws are about, rules and regulations, right? We don't want to relinquish rules and regulations. This keeps us on the foundation and basis of our human actions toward each other, right? So for those in the pursuit of peace to be able to clearly attain the meaning of their goal, I make commentary. And this is what we call the Samba Damja. Sombe Damja is what we belong. That, it's already written, so I did keep my thought or my promise to complete this particular text. So that's good. Let's stop here.
Thank you very much, Geshe-la. And for those who are listening, please subscribe to our videos, like them. It will help the algorithms to bring more traffic.
Thank you very much for listening, and until next time.